Hello, my people. The African Union, the AU, have woken up to reality. Now they want to address the injustice that we see in most of stuff that associated with Africa. You know what I mean? Because those people that were ahead of Africa, in terms of technology or education or any other stuff, the way they marginalize Africa and they lie about Africa. You know what I mean? Because the AU is now talking about changing this 16th century Mercator map that made Africa the map of Africa to look tiny, like small continent. You know what I mean? And they make this kind of map just to make Africa feel like, oh, we are just a small place. You know what I mean? We are just a drop in the ocean. You know what I mean? And now that the African Union, they are waking up to ask that this Mercator map be changed. You know what I mean? Because Africa is the second largest, as they said. The AU, I think the Deputy General claimed that Africa is the second largest continent in the world. But I think this is an understatement sometimes, because at this point, I think Africa might be the largest, number one, because placing it second, you don't know you don't know why you're saying that it didn't bring evidence to show that Africa is second. I think, in my own perspective, I think Africa is the largest continent in the world. And they even mentioned that Africa is 1 billion. There's 1 billion people who lives in Africa. And this is maybe an understatement again, because I think we don't know the number of people in Africa. I think we might be maybe more than 1.5 billion people living in Africa, because we don't have an accurate figure of how many people live in Africa. What we have is estimation, and sometimes is this these people, these former colonizers that you estimate us. They're not even like what we do for ourselves, because sometimes you see that some of the census we conduct in Africa is sponsored by the European Union or other Western countries. You know what I mean? It's not even sponsored by the indigenous, the Africans. You know what I mean? They sponsor the census, and if they are sponsoring the census, it means that they can manipulate the results. They can bribe those people that they are put there. That they are giving this money to do the census, to even bring the figure down. They're not going to bring it up, we know, because sometimes they don't want you to believe there is strength in number, because why do I think that Africa might be more than 1 billion people? When you compare Africans living abroad as well, you're just talking about people living there. There's Africa in diaspora. There are millions. You know what I mean? And these people are not even be counted. There is Africa everywhere. If you go to South America, you see lots of Africans there, but they're not counted. And I think what they should do is not only just to talk about they want it to be changed. They should do something. Africa should go and do their homework and produce their own map, and even sue the people that make this fraud called Mercator map, because this is a fraud. This map is a fraud. You know what I mean? It's a complete fraud. And not only that, they did it to Africa, they did it to South America as well. They shrink our land. Why they hype other places? They hype other places to say that. I don't know why they want to do. They went on to do stuff like this. If you hype a place that you have a landmass that you don't have, what are you going to benefit? Because this is a psychological war. This is a psychological war they have inflicted in Africa. That's why they can even, if they are serious in what they're saying, the AU, they should sue these people. You know what I mean? Sue them and challenge them in court, because this is a fraud. How can you just knowingly, not that they don't know, knowingly, misrepresent the landmarks of Africa? This is terrible. You know what I mean? This is unfair. But instead of us to start talking about when this is going to be changed, I think we should take our own destiny by our hand and redraw the African map and have accurate, representation of what Africa landmass looks like. You know what I mean? We don't leave it for them to do it again. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our video. Peace.